had this really bizarre neighbor. He's an atheist, and but a pastor. So he, kind of oddly enough, sort of pro bono was a pastor at a church that seemed to accept the fact that he was also an atheist. But I remember talking to him late into the evening one night, and I was asking him why he rejected the gospel, because it kind of bothered me, and I was wondering. And not being able to get anywhere with him, I asked my mom, do you have any resources to reach out to atheists? And so she referred me to Ray Comfort's book, God Doesn't Believe in Atheists. So I said, okay, send that to me. And then I started searching the web for anything by Ray Comfort. And I encountered a video series of his called The Way of the Master. And so I started watching the first few of them. And he does something that had never happened to me my whole life being in the church. He went through the law the way that Jesus did in the Sermon on the Mount in Matthew 5 and Luke 6. And what he did is he highlighted the true nature of the law. He said, if you'd ever sinned once, if you've ever, say, lied once, that means you're a liar. If you've ever stolen once, you're a thief. If you've ever lusted, you're actually an adulterer at heart. If you hate your brother in your heart, it's like murder, which starts at the heart. And so I used to think I'm like 80% good and 20% bad, and that God's sort of filling in that gap and bridging the gap between me and him. And at that moment, I realized that I had failed at every point, and that I was actually 100% bad. And it's at that moment that I was converted, and God filled me, and he gave me his spirit. I started witnessing to people. Cheryl, my wife, noticed the difference in my life. The sins that I had that really clung on to me were gone instantly in a moment. And that was the day that made the difference in my life. That was August 2004. Recently, a lot of things have been happening in my life that probably would upset anyone. My mom a few years ago got breast cancer, and it was stage 4. She sort of pulled through with chemo, and she's doing pretty well now, but I just found out my dad has stage 4 lymphoma, non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, and the prognosis is pretty decent, but both my parents have cancer. In August of this year, I lost my job. The month after, my daughter got diabetes. About a couple weeks after that, the transmission blew for a $4,000 bill after I'd been laid off. So all these things are sort of accumulating all at the same time, and generally are very disturbing. But I find that I'm pulling through because I believe that the promises that God has made towards me are true, and I just trust him. I know that he's got, first of all, something for me later. So if anything were to happen to me, I'm certainly not Job. And I'm not going through, I don't think at all that I'm anywhere near in the position that Job would be in. But I take everything in stride, knowing that God's in control and nothing passes to me without first going through his hand. And so I just wait on him. I know that if he wants me to have a job, he's going to provide for me, and the door's going to be open, and I'll walk through it. And if he doesn't want me to have a job because I need to take care of my family, then he's going to keep me at home. So I just trust him.